The last 5 letters of history spell story, and that's exactly how history should be taught. Numbers and dates have no soul. Such presentations fall flat, for history is alive and relevant. Welcome to Threads from the National Tapestry, stories from the American Civil War. This series will feature events and people from that period and will strive to make you feel as if you were there, to show that history is indeed a story.
Each morning, every regiment dispatched foraging parties, about 20 to 30 men under a mounted officer. In truth, most of the foragers were mounted as well. That gave maximum mobility and coverage. At day's end, parties were to return to a point where the main column was to be at sundown. Sherman's standing order: forage liberally on the country and seize whatever is needed by the command. Trespassing in dwellings of inhabitants forbidden, and foragers were asked to discriminate between the rich, who are usually hostile, and the poor and industrious, usually neutral or friendly. In either case, a reasonable portion of a family's food was to be left behind. Sherman's men enthusiastically followed his orders to forage liberally, and more times than not exceeded their orders. A party might swoop down on a farm or plantation, clean out the smokehouse, kill all the chickens and hogs, empty corn cribs and oat bins, seize flour, and commandeer any culinary treasures like crocks of butter or honey. All confiscated was loaded on carts or wagons, while others rounded up livestock that was deemed essential. Though Sherman forbade it, trespassing into Southern homes was, sadly, the routine. Homes were ransacked, drawers and cabinets rifled through or smashed. Gardens and yards were searched for signs of freshly turned earth, and if found, sites were quickly investigated. On occasion, slaves volunteered information to lead federal troops to buried goods and valuables. Envious neighbors would do likewise. And to add to the feeling that the march was little more than a lark, foragers frequently snatched clothes and family heirlooms that were of no military value, like old War for Independence uniforms, tricorn hats, even wigs and dresses. Yes, despite the feeling that the march was little more than an armed picnic, there were moments of danger. Small details from Wheeler's cavalry descended on foraging parties, and to those in blue who were captured, well, they were summarily executed. To a Quaker in the 10th Iowa, a woman standing on her mansion's porch said, "My husband is a captain in the Confederate Army, and I'm proud of it. You can rob us, you can take everything we have. I can live on pine straw the rest of my days. You can kill us, but you can't conquer us." Not surprisingly, wealthier Georgians lost not only provisions and livestock, but they lost another form of personal property: those enslaved. It was again at Covington that Sherman's army first experienced a wave of black refugees. To Sherman's troops, they cheered, cried, sang, and tagged along. To them, Sherman was the deliverer as promised in the Bible. In the Old Testament, a 19th century Moses leading his people to freedom. Curious, the red-headed Ohioan asked one elderly slave if he understood the war. And while nodding, he said he had been looking for the angel of the Lord since he was a child.